Good morning again, everyone. Sorry to interrupt. I always say this, but I mean it. I hate to interrupt good conversation going on out there. But just to keep everyone on schedule, I know everyone's busy today with several events around town and maybe a free lunch or a free dinner for you veterans later today. I saw some of those advertisements yesterday. Again, we want to welcome you to South Valley Middle School in this morning's Veterans Day program. My name is Dallas Ackerman. I'm the Director of Communications and Marketing with the Liberty School District. We think we do have a nice program this morning in the next 20 minutes that includes speeches from students at all levels in our system, and you can now see them seated from the elementary level moving to the middle level and to the high school level. But to begin our program today, we have a special flag-raising ceremony that will be played on the video screen in front of you. The video is not only going to be played for us here this morning, but it will be aired in all of our schools within our system later today. Part of this video, we are going to recite the Pledge of Allegiance, and you'll also hear the national anthem recited by our Liberty North High School concert choir. But at this time, we will ask that our live audience stand together and place your hand over your heart when the national anthem begins playing in just a moment. We're going to send the program to some of our talented broadcasting students at Liberty High School to take us through this morning's flag-raising ceremony.
Good morning, I'm Jacob Schiller.
And I'm Rachel Markle.
Thank you for joining us as a part of our Veterans Day activities. This morning, we as an entire district and community take a moment to thank all of those that have served our great nation.
All buildings in Liberty Public Schools are watching this morning, and in a moment we will have the opportunity to witness a special flag-raising ceremony just outside of Liberty High School. Along with this, we will recite the Pledge of Allegiance together as a district.
At this time, we send it to Liberty High School student Rachel Young as she introduces to us a special group of students that will raise our flag this morning. While the flag is being raised, the Liberty North High School concert choir will perform our national anthem. Immediately following, students from all area We would like to thank you for your attention this morning. That concludes our special Veterans Day flag raising ceremony.
Thanks for watching.
You may be seated. And again, would like to thank all of our talented broadcasting students and staff at Liberty High School. They also work with our students at Liberty North High School. So great chatting with our local heroes here this morning from South Valley Middle School. I thought at this time, before we go any further, for all of those that have served in the room today, if you would please stand to be recognized. Let's give them a big round of applause. You may be seated. Before we introduce you to our students speaking to us here this morning, I just wanted to take a moment to thank a few individuals that made today possible. I want to start with Jill Mullen and her team here at South Valley Middle School. Jill is the principal here and just did a tremendous job putting this on here today. You see the artwork here in front. I want to thank Cindy Savela, the band director here at South Valley Middle School, and her pep band that played some great tunes for us as we came in this morning. Let's give them a big round of applause. And I also want to thank Lynn Martin, who is out of our communication office. Lynn is there in the back. I'm sure most of you that RSVP talked to Lynn as we prepared for the event today, and it's a pleasure to work with her. And Lynn, I just want to thank you as well. Let's give her a round of applause. And I want to thank everyone for coming today. It's just a great crowd. It's great to see not only our veterans, we see some of our retired staff in Liberty Public Schools, and it's a pleasure to have you here with us this morning. I've teased it here today, and it's time now for our main presentation, the main event, if you will. It is our student speakers. And I mentioned we will start at the elementary level, and we will work up through the middle level and to the high school. And we will first hear from Miss Riley Statz. She represents Warren Hills Elementary. Riley, welcome.
Good morning. My name is Riley Statz, and I'm a 5th grade student at Warren Hills Elementary. Today in the United States, Veterans Day honors the courage and patriotism of all the men and women who have served in the United States military. I am 11 years old. I don't know what it is like to be in a war, and I don't know what it is like to be a veteran. It is hard for me to imagine what many of you have gone through. I only know what I hear, and I've heard stories of veterans who have come back from the war without a hand. I do know that my hands are important to me, and what a sacrifice that would be. That is something I could understand. I think about my family. I have veterans in my family, and those hands of those veterans served in wartime. My grandma and grandpa who are here today are on the screen, and they're right there. They served in the Vietnam War. My great uncle in World War II, and my great great grandpa in the Civil War, and ancestors way back served in the Revolutionary War. Many kids like me have family who are actively serving in the military. More than 1.2 million school-aged kids must desperately miss and worry about their parents on a daily basis. Their families face extra stress. Their parents are serving in the country in our place, and we should be extra appreciative of them. This morning, as we reflect on the blessings of our independence, may we always be grateful for our freedom, and may we never forget the great price that was paid by our veterans. I would like to ask everyone to use your hands and help me say thank you to all the veterans here today. Thank you for your dedicated service in peacetime and war, here in this nation and throughout the world. God bless our veterans, and God bless America.
Thanks so much, Riley. Riley's proud family sitting here in front. I was talking to Riley's mom before this, and she was telling me that Riley last year was working on a project, and her project focused on writing letters to those serving overseas, and with her leadership was able to urge friends to send over 340 letters to soldiers overseas. So really neat. Thanks for coming this morning, and great job. Next, we move to the middle school level, and we will hear from a brother-sister combo. This is Brooke and Christian Furness. Brooke is in 7th grade. Christian is in 8th grade. Guys, if you would join me over here. Their stepfather is currently in his second service, and they will probably talk a little bit about that. So welcome.
Good morning. I'm Christian Furness, son of Sergeant First Class Mark Smith. Veterans Day is a day to thank the men and women who have and are now serving our country in the armed forces. It is a day to thank the survivors of those who died while protecting our freedom and our country. Many of you have been touched by having a family member or friend who is a veteran or active member of our armed forces. It is a sacrifice to leave your home, family, and sometimes your country. Whether in the United States or on foreign soil, it is a difficult and dangerous task. The family left at home worries about the soldier, and the soldier worries about the family.
Our dad has been in Afghanistan for 17 months. Last year, he was deployed to Afghanistan for a one-year tour. He was allowed to come home for 2 weeks this summer for R&R, and he went right back for a second one-year tour. He has served with the Army for 18 years. We understand that he needs to serve his country, but we would like to have him home with us. Our family is not complete without him, but we realize he has a job to do there. Veterans Day is a day to say thank you to all the men and women like him who are serving both at home and overseas. It is a time to remember those who died while protecting our right to freedom. I am Brooke Furness, daughter of Sergeant First Class Mark Smith, and I am thankful for all the veterans past and present for their service to this great country. Thank you.
Wanted to add that today's program is being recorded on Channel 18 and will be re-aired throughout this week, and talked to some folks as they were preparing for their speech today. We're going to get these guys a DVD copy and give to Dad here very soon. So we hope that he enjoys their remarks. You guys did an awesome job. Thank you for sharing this morning. We move to the high school level now, and we will start with a student from Liberty North High School. Her name is Caitlin Downey. Caitlin, if you will take the podium.
Loyalty is defined as the quality or state of being loyal to someone or something. Loyalty is a multi-dimensional characteristic trait. There are different levels to loyalty. Loyalty to oneself, loyalty to one another, and loyalty to our country. Loyalty to oneself is being true to your beliefs and standing up for what you believe in. With all the different beliefs, practices, and opinions nowadays, it is difficult to stay true to yourself. It is difficult to not to give in to what others want. Loyalty to one another is having the ability to sacrifice oneself for another human being. In a self-centered society, this is hard to do. We are raised in a culture where greed and self-advancement is prominent. You sit down in your recliner, you turn on your TV, and what do you see? Reality shows filled with materialistic self-promotion. Amidst all of this, many people have the ability to exhibit loyalty in its greatest form, loyalty to one's country, making the ultimate sacrifice for risking their lives to protect the freedoms that we enjoy every day. We are here today to thank you. Thank you for being loyal. Thank you for standing up for what you believe in. and thank you for serving our countries and risking your lives so we may continue living in the great country that we call home, America. We can never repay you for what each of you did for our country. We can never repay you for the ones that you lost, so we will thank you. Although there will never be enough thank yous in the world, we can start somewhere. So once again, thank you veterans for your service. I would like to leave you with a quote from Jessa Ventura. Patriotism is voluntary. It is a feeling of loyalty and allegiance that is the result of knowledge and belief. A patriot shows their patriotism through their actions and by their choice. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Caitlin. I see Caitlin's dad saw Ray earlier and have to be proud of your daughter. Finally, from Liberty High School, Blue Jays represented this morning by Elisa Freed. If you would join us, let's welcome her to the podium.
Many call America the greatest force for peace the world has ever known, but that legacy was not forged in peacetime. It was sorely won by the men and women of our military on battlefields all around the world. And no one knows this better than the families of those heroes, the ones left behind. They fought their own war, a war fought in tears and prayers behind closed doors across the country. And they are fighting that war still today. As soldiers, as families, as Americans, we fight for a cause. We fight for a purpose. And when we fight, we don't give up and we don't give in because we believe in something greater than any one of us. One nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. When our men and women fight, they fight for freedom. They fight for their families. And they fight for all those who gave their lives to give us what we have today. Hope. Here, we honor our veterans because they give us hope. They give us hope that one day we will live in a world where peace is the norm and not the exception. A world where freedom rings. A world where no one lives in fear. Without our veterans, we are nothing. And so today, we come together to say that we have not forgotten. We remember the courage, the sacrifice, the selflessness of those who gave their lives, those who are still fighting, and those who, by the grace of God, have made it back home. You are the heartbeat of this country. Thank you for your service.
Let's give our student speakers another big round of applause this morning. I told you that they were the main part of the program, not me stumbling and bumbling through the opening part of this program, okay? You know, a part of my job is to take pictures and promote events. And now, you know, with these phones, it's so easy to do. So if you don't mind, if you guys could just smile up here for a second. You'll see this if you're a fan of Facebook. I don't know, it may even be in the newspaper. Smile, guys, right here in the middle. Okay, good. We have one more speaker. And I've been complimenting our student speakers and saying they are the main part of this program. I don't mean that in any offense to our superintendent, Dr. Jungman. He is in his first year with us here in Liberty Public Schools, and it has been such a pleasure to work with him, work alongside him, and he has been a tremendous leader for us, and very fortunate to have had the opportunity to work with him. And he is going to address you this morning and share a few words. Here's Dr. John Jungman, our superintendent of schools.
Thank you, Dallas. Obviously, he said told you about one of his responsibilities, and he didn't tell you about his second responsibility that I always tell him is, number 2, make the superintendent look good. And he's failed miserably today because he put me behind these student speakers. I need to lead off, not back cleanup today, I'm afraid. So we'll work on that, Dallas. But one more time, can you help me recognize these students? Finish up. And I won't even attempt to follow some of the eloquent words that they had for you. But I would start by saying, as we get kicked off, or as we get ready to close up today, there are 3 school board members that I would like to recognize that are in attendance that make these things possible. Andrew Rothman, Kimberly Graham, and Charlene Armitage. We appreciate those public servants and all they do for the 12,000 students of Liberty Public Schools. As some of you know, I've only been in this community for about 16 months, and although it's been a short amount of time, it's taken me very little time to appreciate the tight-knit community that we have that really respects the people that have taken care of this community for so many years, and this veteran group is a great example of that group of people. I'm honored to represent Liberty Public Schools and recognize our heroes today. Those who have served our great country and dedicated their lives to providing us opportunities that we have each and every day. My father is also a veteran, and I have a brother that has served also. And one of the phrases that my dad used to use with us, and I think it rings so true today, and I'm sure you've heard it many a time, is to whom much is given, much is required. And you have given us so much. So at this point, I'm going to reverse the trend. I'm going to ask those that aren't veterans to stand up at this time. Those who aren't veterans in this room to stand up at this time. And those veterans that are seated, we're simply going to do a couple things. Number 1, we're going to give you the standing ovation you deserve. Number 2, we're going to say thank you, but we're not going to just say thank you with our words. We're going to come and say it with a handshake. We thank you so much. You have given us so much, and this is just a minimal requirement that we have is to say thank you. So at this point, standing ovation, and then I would ask you, if you are standing, go shake hands with 5 veterans and tell them thank you at this point. I don't think I did. See if I got anything else.
That is a great touch.
That's a good way to reel at the end. We're good. You're good. Just stay. I'll say one word and turn it back to you to wrap this up. Yep.
Yeah, there we go.
Thank you very much. I hope you were able to shake the hands of some of our truest heroes, and I hope the 5 assignment that I gave you doesn't stop there. You're going to have an opportunity here in just a minute as we get out the doors to shake many more hands. And don't just do it in this audience, do it in the audiences all day today and the audiences that you're in every day of your life, because these are the people that make what we have possible. Thank you so much to our veterans, and I'll turn it back to Dallas for our closing remarks.
Thank you, Dr. Jungmann. A few weeks ago, we received a phone call. Someone is having a birthday later this month, and it's a special birthday. Birthday number 90 for a gentleman that many of you know in this room. He's right over here. Had a good opportunity to visit with him earlier, Mr. Ira Hunter. Going to be 90 at the end of November. So what we thought we would do, I mean, there's a birthday cake here. Don't we sing happy birthday to him? I'll go ahead and get it started. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Ira. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Ira. Thanks for all your service. Ira, a World War II veteran, and again, just so great to visit with him, and hope everyone in the room has a chance to wish him a happy birthday before we depart this morning. So just want to thank again everyone for being here with us today, and have a great remainder of this special Veterans Day. Thank you again.